What's up guys, it's your boy Steven Storm and this is my studio right behind me back here. This is Eclipse Records and I'm the producer and also I'm the director and the CEO. So once again I just want to say thank you for tuning in and also subscribing to my channel. And today I just want to share with you, not into deep but shallowly, about the 7 ways you can make your films or your videos more cinematic. So one of the ways to make your videos or film more cinematic is shallow depth of field. Shallow depth of field is where you have your subject and the background appears blurry. Basically that's it, and this can be achieved and through the wider you place your aperture, the wider you open your aperture. And of course aperture is represented by the f number in your camera. So the wider, the higher the number, the less depth of field, and the less blurry the background will look. And the lower the number, the higher shallow depth of field, which means the background will appear more blurry. Second way to make your videos and films more cinematic is camera movement. You have to learn the art of knowing how to operate with your camera, and most of the time camera movement always direct us as the viewers, or direct the viewers on which point to view or on which point to focus on. So camera movement plays a very important role. If you're a music video director and you have a bit hyped up song like a rap song or something like that that goes a little bit shaky, you'll have to introduce the shaky kind of movement with your handheld. And if it's a slow song, definitely you'll have to be able to put it on a smooth movement by the use of a gimbal or a Steadicam. Another reason for making your videos more cinematic is frame rates. Frame rates are very important in terms of slow motion. The higher the frame rates, like let's say 120 frames per second, and when you bring it in post, when you're editing, you assume it down to 24 frames per second, it will be slow motion. So it's important to know when to use the frame rates. Like for instance, if you're a music video director, there's some parts in a music video where you would want them to be in slow motion. So in these specific places, you always want to shoot your videos in higher frame rates. And always remember, when you're exporting your video or a movie, make sure you export it in 24 frames per second. It's very important. The fourth reason to make your videos more cinematic is the kind of music you choose, the kind of music and sound you choose for your film. For this, for directors of music videos, obviously you have a music there, and now you have to only play with the camera movements in your music. But for, let's say you are a person that creates travel videos or highlights of an event, now it's so good to take in keen interest the type of music you choose when it comes to your films and movies. It's very important. This will gauge how the artist will be more into it, maybe subconsciously, and even have to watch the video all through because of the kind of music you've chosen. So it's very important to choose the right music for your film or the right music for your videos. The fifth reason to make, or the fifth way to make your videos more cinematic, is the use of cinibars. And cinibars are the black bars that are always on top and below, and they make your videos appear 16 by 9. So this is important because in this aspect ratio, we find that videos look cinematic. It just looks so good and cinematic. There's no more general reason upon it. So by use of cinematic bars in your film, it will make it appear cinematic. The fifth way to make your videos more cinematic is by the use of the right fonts. The kind of fonts you use for your music, for your music videos, the kind of fonts you use for your travel videos, the kind of fonts you use for all your film work, it's very important. Choosing the right fonts will make your videos appear more cinematic. There are a lot of fonts out there. Some of them are free, like some of them are free and they are very good. You should check them out. I'll have a link in the description to some free amazing fonts. And for instance, I love the Caviera Dream fonts. It's very good and it's so cinematic. You should check it out. I'll have a link in the description. And lastly, the final way to make your videos appear more cinematic is by color grading your video. Always color grade your video, no matter which way possible. Try and color grade your video. This goes a long way because it gives your video the professional feel. It makes your video look more cinematic. It makes your video look more appealing to the eye. And always when color grading, make sure you color grade according to the mood of the music. That is the key important thing. Always color grade to the mood of the music. Like for instance, if it's a happy song, you always want to have it in warm. If it's sad and gloomy, you always have to have it on cold, you know, stuff like that. So always make sure you color grade according to the feel of the sound and according to the feel of the story in your movie. So this is important, and it goes a very long way to make your videos and feels more cinematic. So there you have it. Those are the 7 ways to make your videos more cinematic that you should consider. Anyway, this is my channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and also leave a comment if you have some of the ideas in mind on how to make your videos more cinematic. And I'll see you on my next video. My name is Steven Storm. Peace out.